I don't know anyone within my circle that reads. To be okay. All right, let's see here. World of Warcraft roleplay is the Twitch era soap opera we need. Well, they used SM Library as a picture. Guilds like Onlyfangs with huge content creators have turned online role-playing into a ridiculously drama. Oh, my foot hurts. Ow. Oh, God. Sun pours through the lush foliage of a jungle, bleaching the pale limestone as a rotting man stands in the center of an otherwise empty arena, his yellow eyes leering from beneath a fringe of limp blonde hair. Positioned around the edge of the are 100 bodies, orcs and trolls and bipedal oxen, shouting, demanding the death of the dishonorable. Their voices swell into a cacophony of noise before one rings out above the rest, howling, "Kill the cheater and you'll get 20 gold." There is silence and then another frenzy. As I watch, eyes fixed on the dim glow of a laptop screen, I think of the Colosseum in Rome. Sweat running down the muscled arms of battle-tested gladiators. The crowd cheering for blood. This might sound like a moment pulled from a high fantasy drama made for prestige TV. But this is World of Warcraft, a now 20-year-old online RPG. Instead of actors parading in front of green screens, this story's cast are streamers that occupy a virtual world. Tensions are high, not because they're scripted, but because in World of Warcraft's hardcore mode, death is permanent. Dejected, though acknowledging the transgression made, Sequisha, the streamer who was promptly executed for cheating, sighs and goes back to the character select screen. He creates a new avatar. It's time to start all over again. Sequisha's execution and subsequent reincarnation is just one of the hundreds of stories playing out every day in World of Warcraft as streamers have flocked to the massively multiplayer online RPG to play together. Through their strife and commitment to staying in character via roleplay, groups like the guild Onlyfangs have turned WoW into an RPG within an RPG, playing out improvisational personal drama where the stakes are high. In hardcore mode, WoW has become the best soap opera on the internet, all playing out across over dozens of Onlyfangs creator streams every day. What is Onlyfangs? To commemorate the 20th anniversary of WoW, Blizzard Entertainment created a set of new servers designed to draw in fans, old and new. This included a classic server, which recreates the look and mechanics of the game's earliest days, and will eventually be updated to include its expansion, starting with 2007's BC and 2008's Wrath of the Lich King. BC was only out for a year? Am I crazy? It was fast? I don't remember it being that short. And then Wrath was like fucking 3 years or something. Like what? Maybe it was one of those things where it released like at the beginning of 2007 and ended at the end of 2008. So almost 2 years. Anyways. The other big addition is a hardcore server. Unlike standard servers, if you die in hardcore, that character is lost forever, including rare items and gold. Between these high-stakes servers and 2024's War Within expansion, interest in the game has been renewed, driving creators back to the world of Azeroth to mine a deep well of fresh content. Since the bump in users, World of Warcraft has remained a hot category on platforms like Twitch and YouTube, with overall viewership reaching well above 50,000 even during usual off hours. And it seems like everyone wants a piece of the pie. Swaths of streamers have decided to team up and create guilds and closed social networks where players can ask for help or chat in semi-private spaces for the sole purpose of jumping into the new hardcore server. One such guild began early with the first wave of hardcore servers, Onlyfangs, a group of some of the most popular creators on Twitch like Mizkif, Pokimane, she hasn't even played, and the guild's leader, Sodapoppin, who is currently the world's most popular WoW streamer. After amassing a huge following with their first big season of hardcore mode streaming, Onlyfangs made some big changes, even dropping famous names like Pokimane for not being devoted to the leveling grind. I don't think she ever joined. That was last Onlyfangs. She did? Did she? What level did she get? Are they talking about last season? Yeah, I was gonna say. Anyways, led by Sodapoppin, co-creator and co-owner of the Stream Team, an assembly of massively popular influencers and content creators, One True King or OTK, a new wave of participants across NA and Europe were recruited into the second season of Guild Play, and there would be a lot more drama this time around, as Onlyfangs would be diving headfirst into the world of role-playing, demanding that everyone involved fully commit to the bit. Okay. What they didn't know was their experiment in WoW roleplay would inadvertently create one of the best emergent dramas on the internet. Is it? In November 2024, Onlyfangs began a long journey to Molten Core, a level 60 dungeon, for their second season on the side of the Horde, WoW's seemingly nefarious but far more narratively complex faction. Choosing a faction, be it Horde or Alliance, impacts what quest players can pick up, what major cities and outposts they will have access to, and the races and classes they can select when it comes to creating a character. Comprised of green orcs, blue-hued tusk trolls, rotting undead, and the bestial horned Tauren, participating streamers were sorted into these 4 racial groups based on a personality test taken beforehand. This would also limit streamers on what classes they could play, as the options in Classic, also known as Vanilla, were not as expansive as they are now. My dad reading this has no clue what's going on still. But most importantly, once a streamer's character died in the game, that character would be gone forever, with the streamer forced to start from zero. Okay, the nature of these specific servers means that there's actually something to lose. That time and energy put into a character could be wasted with one bad encounter, or another player fumbling with their button inputs or healing potions. This is one of the core components of what makes WoW hardcore so compelling. It is the risk factor that makes games like Dark Souls so exciting to player watch. Oh, Pirate made it. On top of an already rigid set of rules and high-stakes environment, each streamer is expected to roleplay as the character they had created. Similar to the session of Dungeons and Dragons, adhering to the lore of WoW and responding to the situation. Where are they getting these facts? I didn't make it. You don't have to. Okay. Are they a hard-headed orc that had a lust for battle? Or are they an undead that wouldn't hesitate letting another player die if it meant their own survival? These factors contribute to how players approach specific situations and weave into how they interact with their fellow guild members. It's like a GTA RP server, just with high fantasy races and the shadow of perma-death looming over every dungeon run. For the season, over 100 streamers, including members of OTK or other popular independent talents such as Pirate Software, are placed into faction. They must have written this article week 1 into Onlyfangs. And it had to go through like approval of 500 different people before they're allowed to post it. Because this is so old. Our place in a faction is a staying character creates a sense of emergent storytelling. Some troll players thank their deities, the Loa, the gods of the troll faction, or good luck. For good luck, or even claim to feel the death of another player through the invisible gods. In reality, the divine voice they hear is actually just an in-game notification that another player has bitten the dust. On top of this, each faction is vying against one another every week for the top spot, with the loser facing some kind of punishment. This fosters rivalries amongst the individual factions, adding to the narrative that continues to unfold week after week. During each session, nice picture, It's up to the streamers to keep up the performance and remain in character. This self-imposed rule creates organic events, making the streams more engaging to watch as players chat about the current activity of the guild, blah, blah, blah. The drama begins. Early on, one event had already rocked the guild, as Sodapoppin announced that Sequisha had been caught cheating. Okay, they're going to talk about the Sequisha drama. After Sequisha's cheating and the chaos that followed in his subsequent execution, the undead mostly kept to their own. Because of how severe the punishment was, there was division within the guild and tense arguments that occurred on stream, both in and out of character. But as the drama snowballed, streamers only leaned deeper into their characters. Esfand began donning a mask during streams to fully immerse viewers into the character. Okay. He was playing a giant bipedal cow. Others even put on accents. In the case of Hubert, the Queen's English, to denote that he is a higher intellect and more cultured than his orc brethren. Although there weren't any more executions, Mizkif had been banished from his group and was temporarily left to fend for himself, leading to a nearly daily cycle of deaths and restart. They got some research right. Hubert began gifting his fellow orc with temporary intellect, which nearly caused an uprising amongst his clansmen. However, as the event stretched on, streamers began to drop like flies. Larxa, who had never played WoW before, was determined to become the first to reach 60 without having any real experience with the game. While roaming through the barrens, a vast field of grass littered with hostile creatures, she stumbled upon a patrol of centaurs and was run down and killed. Reaching the end would require perseverance and dedication, which she slowed by jumping back into the saddle for a second attempt weeks later. I'm reading this badly. Cool. It's kind of neat.